Hey guys, this is Mr. H again. Hey, one of the things I wanted to do is I did a few, I think it was three quadratic equations using the quadratic formula, but none of them had any radical that needed to be simplified. And that's a really important skill. So I'm going to do a couple more quadratic equations, solve a couple more quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. And hopefully we'll have a couple examples where we have to simplify the radical. So let's go. So what you see on my screen, let me make this, is 2t squared plus 5t minus 11 equals 1. Now, it is a quadratic equation, but it's not equal to 0. So I got to do that part first. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. And so what I have here is 2t squared plus 5t minus 12 equals 0. Now, from here, I'm going to take the a. The a is 2, the b is 5, and the c is a negative 12. And I'm going to store those, and I'm going to look at the determinant, the b squared. Let me go back. I need the b squared minus 4ac. I need to know what that is, and then I need to know if it's a perfect square. If it isn't, I got to be able to simplify it if it can be. So let me store these numbers. So 2 goes into A. We got 5 that goes into B, and then a negative 12 that goes into C. Boom. Now, B squared minus 4A times C. Now, I like to use this because I think it's cleaner. All right, 121. Now, if you're not sure, you're going to do menu 23 and just type that in. And you can see it has an even exponent, which means it's a perfect square. So once we know it's a perfect square, all we have to do is just type in the formula, and we're going to get two rational roots. So we're going to go menu, actually, no menu. We're just going to type in the formula. So we need control divide. We need a stack fraction. It's a negative b plus, it's actually plus or minus, but we can't do that on the calculator, so we do it one at a time. So this is going to be b squared minus 4ac. I'm just going to go up here and copy that piece. And then down here, I'm just going to put 2a. Now, this is a formula. You're going to be given this on the exam, so you don't have to memorize it. You just have to be able to use it. Press enter. So one of my solution is going to be 3 over 2. Okay, so I'm just going there now, and I'm entering this 3 divided by 2. And then our second solution, if we copy this and change the plus to a minus, it's going to be a negative 4. So we're going to come here and we're going to put a negative 4. And I'm just going to show you what I entered. And then I'm going to submit this. And it tells me, nice job. Now, again, I'm looking for one where I actually have to simplify the radical. All right, so let's go to the next question and see what we got here. Okay, take a picture. All right, it's not equal to 0, so we got to make it equal to 0. Add 6 to both sides. So it's going to be 1b squared plus 10b plus 7 equals 0. The a is 1, the b is 10, the c is 7. From here, we're going to go store and then check the determinant, the b squared minus 4ac. So we got 1 stored into a. We got 10 stored into b. And then we've got 7, and we're going to store that into C. Press enter, boom. And now we're going to go up here and we're going to get the b squared minus 4ac, the determinant. And let's see what we got. It says 72. That's not a perfect square, but we're going to do menu 23 on this number because we're going to see if we can simplify it. All right. Oh, yeah. So the reason I know this is not a perfect square is that the exponent on the 2 is an odd number. So it's not a perfect square, but you can definitely simplify this. So let's go back and kind of do this. So if we go back to my iPad, let me move this over. So this is going the b squared minus 4ac is equal to 72. It's not a perfect square, but we can simplify it. So it's going to be 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. And like we've been doing in all of the other videos, we can pull out a 2 and we can pull out a pair of threes, right? So our simplified radical is going to be 6 with the square root of 2. Now, all we got to do now is just go ahead and put our formula together. So this is going to be b is equal to a negative 10 plus or minus. It's going to be 6 square root of 2 over 2 times a, which is going to be 2. Now, this can be further simplified because these are all even numbers, so we can divide 2 out of all of them, and we're going to be left with a negative 5 plus or minus 3 square root of 2 over 1. Now, when we have the over 1, you don't need to put that part. So here's our answer, a negative 5 plus or minus 3 times the square root of 2. So let's go here. Got to delete this. A negative 5 plus or minus, whoops, it was 3 square root of 2. And we submit it. And it says, nicely done. You simplified the radical. Let me just try one more here. Let's see what we got here. All right, last one, and then I'm going to post this. All right, so take a picture. Let's make this a little larger so you guys can see what we're doing. All right, this is not equal, the quadratic equation is not equal to 0, so I got to set it equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract 6 squared. That means I'm going to subtract 6 squared from over here as well. And so this is going to be 1q squared plus 6q plus 3 equals 0. And that means the A is 1, the B is 6, and the C is 3. So from here, I just grab my calculator or I'll grab my calculator, and I'm going to do the A is already 1 from the last problem, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do 6, store that into B, and then 3, store that into C. And then I'm just going to look at the determinant, the b squared minus 4ac part. This tells me everything. All right, so this is 24. So this is going to have 2 irrational roots because 24 is not a perfect square. Now, the question is, can I simplify this radical? And so we're going to use menu 23, and we're going to look at this. And again, it confirms that this is not a perfect square, but you can also see that we have 2 to the 3rd power, which means we're going to be able to simplify this. So if we go back to the iPad, we can finish this up. So let me move this over just a little bit. So the b squared minus 4ac part was 24. We can rewrite 24 as 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. And now we can simplify by bringing a pair of 2's out. So this is going to be 2 times the square root of 6. That's the simplified version of the b squared minus 4ac part. And let's go ahead and finish the rest of this. It's going to be q equals, we're going to do a negative b, so this is going to be a negative 6 plus or minus 2 times the square root of 6. That's the b squared minus 4ac part simplified. And then on the bottom, this is going to be 2. Now, again, these are all even numbers, so we can divide out of 2, and our final answer is going to be a negative 3 plus or minus 1 times the square root of 6 over 1. But if it's over 1, we don't have to put that. We could just put this. That's going to be our answer, a negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 6. So if I delete this, that's what I'm going to enter, a negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 6. Submit it. Says, nice job. That's it. That's what we're doing, guys. Focus on the b squared minus 4ac part. That'll tell you if it has 2 rational solutions. It'll tell you if it has 2 irrational solutions. It'll also help you determine if you can simplify the radical if it isn't irrational. Okay, that's what we're doing. Menu 23 will help you to determine whether it's rational, irrational, and if it's irrational, it'll help you simplify it if it can be simplified. That's why we need menu 23. All right, I'm going to stop and I'm going to post this.